Right, so plan today is try and put the frame back together. Forks and that can all go back together. Swing arm can go on. I've got to clean up the rear suspension. Couple of bits I've still got to polish up. But yeah, that's the plan for today, or plan for this video. Putting the frame back together. Also got to find a new front wheel because the other one's a little bit buggered. So yeah, that's where we are at the minute. So this is the back wheel what's come off this bike. Seems to be holding air. Very rusty spokes. Pretty grotty looking condition. So we're going to give that a good clean up. We're going to take the brake disc off. We'll probably take the chain sprocket off as well. Give it a good clean up, and then go from there really. See if we can get these off. Can't always get these off. Right, gave the wheel a wash. A bit of paint falling off here on the this side. Bit rusty on some of the spokes. We should be able to clean them up. I think we'll clean up pretty good this one. So that's that. These, just got to give these a damn good work over with the old wire wheel, and they should be good. Give that one a bit of a wire wheel, and then we'll give them a paint up. Oh right, just gave those a bit of a sand off with the wire wheel, so they've come up a bit cleaner. So what I'll do with this one, I will give it a paint on the inside to protect it, and then that one I'll just give a coat of black paint just to protect it, stop it going rusty, and then they should be ready to go back on. Okay, just so I masked off all the disc. I'm gonna spray the middle with primer and then probably go over it with a gold. Masked it off so, because that's where the brake goes. So paint wouldn't stick to that anyway. Plus it'd bugger up the braking system. So that's ready to be painted. Oh dear. Okay. So right. Did the brake disc, cylinder thing, not cylinder, this thing. Did that, cleaned that up, resprayed them, so they're ready to go back on the bike now. So they've come out quite well. Still got the front one to do, but I've also got to find a new front one. Yeah. Right, so I put this back wheel back together. Got to find the light screws, which are cleaned up already. So that can go back on. Oh, that's not good. Bolt just snapped. Well, that's going to be fun to get out. Right, how do we get that out? Might have to drill that out. Bugger. Hopefully it'll come out easy. If not, we're buggered. have to re-drill it, re-tap it. Right, I've drilled it out. I've drilled that screw out and it's sort of unthreaded itself a bit into, I don't think you'll see it. Where is it? It's unthreaded itself a bit, so I've just got to get a pair of pliers in there now to try and screw it out. A pair of mole grips. Always a pain in the ass when you break a bolt. It's almost there. There you go. One snapped bolt. And it didn't do too much damage, so that's a good thing. Hopefully I haven't damaged any thread. But, right, that worked. Right. One wheel finished. So it looks a bit healthier than it did. No rust. All nicely polished. Tyres all clean. So that one is ready to go back on the bike. Oh, yeah. Right, so we'll try and put the triple clamp back on the bike. I'm just going to try it out first, make sure I get the bearings in the right way. Yes, it's right. And suspension going in. Before I put them in, I've got to put some boots on here, on this section. So the rubber boots I took off, they was pretty perished. So I've got to find some new ones, which I can probably take off of some old ones. Right, that's front forks on. I'll tighten up everything properly once I get it all back together. I'll just get it all roughly into place. So what I'm thinking with these, where this one is all damaged with from the rust, I'm gonna slightly respray this bit. I'll probably do this one as well, and then the top sections I will do a carbon fibre wrap on them just to finish them off, and it should tidy it all up. Look at that excess grease off. It's looking a bit tidier. Right, swing arm now. Oh, yeah. Right, so the swing arm on this is pretty basic. It's just one great big bolt. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to pack it out with grease as I'm putting it in. It would be easier if I use my grease gun, but I haven't loaded it up. First time this thing's ever seen grease. As the nut goes on now, and that's the swing arm back on. Swing arm done. Right, so what I've got here is the old suspension, which is looking a bit grubby, a bit faded. It's got a little bit of rust on it. I have given it a good wash, but it still looks a bit grey, so I'm going to go over it with a bit of wire wool to get some of the grime off, because it's pretty grimy. It's all grime around here and that. And what I've actually got is some, like, it's not metallic paint, it's like it's a clear coat red paint. I'll show you in a bit. But what I might do is just mask this off. There's a little bit of rust on this, I'll get that off. So that was a paint I was talking about. It's like, I think it's for spraying over chrome, to make chrome different colours, so it looks like it's anodised. But I bought this ages ago just to do the odd bits here and there, and it seems to work. So what I'm going to do, mask all this off, and then I'll give that a spray and we'll see what it comes out like. Okay, so that's masked off, so I'm going to hang that up and give it a little spray with the old chrome paint, and we'll see what it looks like. And then while it's drying, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. Okay, so I've just masked up the front forks, so I've just got to give these a wipe down with some alcohol, get them nice and clean, and then I'm going to just lightly dust them with some like chrome spray. Probably not going to go all the way to the bottom, in case you like, because the springs will just wear the paint off, but just to take out these old rust marks and just give them a better look, or more consistent look. So that's the plan with them. Right, so I painted the red up. It's come up really good. Looks quite nice actually. So what I've got to do now is just clean the springs. So I'm just using a bit of cord, a little bit of solvent on it, just to get some of the grime off the actual spring. So this just allows you to get to the inside of the spring as well. You get any dirt off. And then what I do is give it all a good clear coat, which should make it almost look like new. It's actually working quite well with the spring. So that's that all clean. Give that middle bit of a clean. So that's pretty much clean now. So I'll look that up and I'll give that a clear coat. I'm gonna have my cup of tea because I don't have a cup of tea yet. Yeah, I'll give that a coat clear. Oh, so that is the suspension all painted up. So what I've done, I've repainted this in that it's like metallic-y paint sort of thing, and then cleaned everything else up, and then I've clear coated it all, so it's pretty much come up like new. So they can go back on the bike. Also, oh, I masked up the front forks and I gave these a light spray just to kill that old, or give it a bit of protection where I stripped all the rust off, so it doesn't rust again. What will happen with all this is I will give it all a good clear coat at some stage. So we're getting there, so that can go back on. All this masking tape can come off, and that's pretty much the frame done then, apart from a few touch-ups here and there. So I need to tidy these up somehow. And I can either do it with, I could probably do it with silver paint, or I could do it with a bit of black paint just to tidy them up. Because like the chrome, I think they were chrome plated at one stage, but the chrome's come off. So to stop them going rusty, we'll give them a coat of paint, but I can do that with a paintbrush. So we've got the brackets to go on here, but I've got to buff them up. I've also got to find them. Right, so I've got the handlebar holders, brackets, whatever they call them. They just need a good buff up, so I'm going to go and buff them up, then we can put them on the bike. Oh yeah, so just buff these up, so they've come out quite nice. That was pretty easy to do. That was in pretty reasonable condition anyway. So they can go back on the bike now. Handlebars can go back on. Handlebars. Going on the bike. Some handlebars. Right, that's the handlebars done. Alright, so brake calipers. These have all been through the ultrasonic, still look pretty grotty, so I'm going to have to strip these down with the wire wheel. Probably give them a bit of a respray. Same with that one. That one's looking a bit grotty. These actually seem to be working okay, but they just need a good clean up. Yeah, these could probably do a couple of new rubbers on them. So I'll see, have a look through, see what I've got. Yeah, this one probably needs a new rubber on it. That one, I think that rubber came out of there. So I just need to clean all these bits up and then put them back together. Find some front pads might be okay. Those two might be okay. Rear pads. One of the pads is actually broken off, so I need to find some new pads for them. So yeah, that's the brake calipers, so we're going to give them a clean. Oh, right, so this one needed some new brake pads. So that's the old brake pads. Now, I've got this old brake, which has got some nice brake pads on there. It's also got rubber on there for the caliper. So I'm going to nick some parts off of that. If you're all wondering where I get all my parts from, I have a very large stock of old parts. I keep everything I rip off old bikes, so I've always got parts available. If you're wondering about my boneyard, I'm going to show you my boneyard, which is out in the garden. This is just my, you have to excuse the pool. Pool's looking a bit green at the minute because it's been raining. I haven't put any chlorine in it. I've got too much junk. So this is basically where I keep all my old pit bikes. That's a little TY175, which I'm going to do as the next project. This is my boneyard. So I've got to get in here. I think that over there is a wheel I'll be able to use on this bike. So I've got a bit of everything in there. It's mainly sort of Chinese pit bikes. There's a quad bike there, so I'm going to do that up at some stage. That was our old camping quad bike. It's a bit buried under a few carcasses there, but yeah, that's where I get all my stuff, if anyone's wondering where I get it all from. And what I usually do, I buy it from Marketplace. I buy all this crap on Marketplace, basically. So I've always got a stock of old bikes. Usually old pit bikes, because I usually do one up a month. Just because I enjoy doing them. And they're pretty good fun to work on. But yeah, that's where I keep all my stuff, and I get it all off Marketplace. I usually buy job lots of old bikes, and got stacks and stacks of the stuff. I'll show you some other bikes I've got, which are all works in progress, which I've got to get round to by the end of the year. So these are some of my next projects. So what we got in here is an old Kawasaki 100. This is an old, I don't know what this is, an old Kawasaki KLX, I think it is. But that's just a parts bike. That's never going to get fixed. That I'll just stick a lot of parts off of that. That's another KDX 200. This is my old XR 200, which I want to rebuild and completely. Then we've got this is another little Kawasaki. This is a little 90cc, I think it is. Or is it an 80cc? I can't remember. And then that there is an RM125 slingshot, which I haven't got an engine for. But what I want to do with that is put a KDX 200 engine in it, which will make it a complete beast. With a KDX engine, it will 200 engine in it, it will absolutely fly. So yeah, there's some of my other projects. But if you was wondering where I got all my crap from, that's where I've got stocks of loads of stuff. I've actually got a shed as well full of engines, which come in really handy for spares. So we're back on the brakes. Oh dear. Right, so I've cleaned up the back caliper. So they're just going to need, I've masked that up. I'm just going to give these a little spray in some black paint, because a lot of the paint's come off of them. Brake pads, I'm going to have to spray the back of them as well. And then we can put that all back together. Found a new rubber for it. So yeah, all good. And then we can hopefully put the back brake on the bike and then get the back wheel back on. Right, so that's the caliper all sprayed up, cleaned, serviced. Just got to put the rubber back in. Got these bolts to go in to hold the what's his name's in. Just going to put a little bit of grease on these to stop them seizing up, because they can be a bit of a bugger sometimes, just to get off. probably will give these a paint after I've tested them all out. I'll put all the cables of that back on them, connect them up, make sure they're working before I put them on the bike. Otherwise, you just end up messing about with them and getting brake fluid everywhere and the paint falls off. And if I can get it working before I put them back on the bike, all the better. So that's that one. And that can pretty much go back on the bike now, which means we can put the back wheel on. But I might do that tomorrow. Actually, what I'll do is I'll connect it all up and make sure it's working before we put it back on the bike. Otherwise, I'm only going to have to take it all off again. But anyway, that one's done. That's sort of done and serviced. So the front one to do is a tiny little brake. Just got to find a new little rubber bit for that, I think. So that one's a little bit added. So I'll see what I'll find another one of them, and then that one can go back together. Right, what we have here is the brake cable lining, whatever you call them. And what I do to unblock these, if they've got a bit of a block, is I've got this wire, which is off of my welder. But it's ideal for feeding down these. Let's be a little bit careful. You don't want to. But what you can do is feed that down, and if there's any blockages, it does unblock it. So that should. So that should have gone all the way to the end now. So should be able to blow that through now. So that's the brake cable thing. If I blow it through, now I've gone through with a wire. You can see all the muck coming out of it, but it blows all the way through now, so at least I know that's clear. And that can go back on a bike. So in theory, that should work. So now I just got to do the front one, which front ones can be a little bit trickier because they're a bit longer. So that's the front one. So I'll try and feed some wire down there, because I think this one's blocked. If I blow that, I can't even blow down that. I've had these soaking in the Ultra Sonic to soften anything up. So that looks like getting some guns out of it. I'll try it from the other end, and hopefully, if it was a little bit blocked, it's unblocked it. Seems to have worked. Let's give it a blow. So that is blowing through now. Ah, tastes disgusting. It's probably not the healthiest way of doing it, but it seems to work. Yeah, when you're feeding them cables through, you just have to be careful you don't sort of like pierce anything. So try not to force it. But yeah, it unblocks them pretty good. So that one's clear. Yeah, and all that is that wire. That is what goes on the old TIG welder. Is it TIG welder or the MIG welder? It comes in really handy, this wire. Saved loads of cables doing this, which saves you a bit of money because they're not cheap brake cables. Oh, so I just found this wheel in the boneyard. It's actually in pretty good condition. This just needs the disc taken off, tidying up a bit. I think this is one I've done a couple of years ago and then never got around to finishing, but it's in reasonable condition. It's got a bit of rust on it. Where's the rust? So it just needs a good clean up, bit of spray. So I'll take the disc off, give that a clean up. Even that, I think I painted the silver mint gold on that. So it just needs the outside tidying up. The tyre seems pretty good. It's not dry rotted or anything, so that will do for my little frame. So that's one job done. Not having a lot of luck with the brakes at the moment. Just trying to get this back brake to work before I put it on the bike. Trying to bleed it, but it's being a bit of a pain in the arse and not working at the minute. But I'll carry on with that, see if I can get something out of it. Front brake, that was completely seized up. That seized up again, wasn't pumping. So I've got another one in the ultrasonic, which I'm trying to free up. Hopefully we can get that one going. But yeah, that's as far as I've got today. Didn't get very far. Oh yeah. So just straightened out the end of the brake lever. Put some new nuts and bolts on there because the other ones were a bit rusty and a bit naff. They weren't even locking nuts. So that I've just got to clean that little bit of rust off and then we can give that a coat of paint. Right, so I sprayed up the new back wheel I've got with the old one, which I've already sprayed and tidied up, cleaned up the disc, so it's come up okay. So I'm going to stick it back on the bike, put a little bit of grease on the axle. Turn the frame upside down just to make it easier. Okay, so that's the back brake all back together and actually working. I thought I'd get it all working before I put it on the bike in case I had to bleed it, because when you bleed them it causes all the paint to fall off and it just makes a complete mess. So that's been in the ultrasonic, so it's dead clean now. So I'm going to give this, mask up the bits I don't want painted and then just give it a little spray. And then that can go back on the bike and then we can put the back wheel on. Okay, so the frame is now back together. I think I've sorted the brakes out. Nightmare putting the back wheel on. If anyone's ever put one of these back wheels on, they're an absolute nightmare. Because, when you put them on, you've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 parts to hold in one hand to get them on. So they're a bit of a nightmare to put on. So what I usually do is I usually use 2 axles. I'll push an axle in from this side and an axle on from that side and try and put all the washers on, because there's a ridiculous amount of washers on these. So I don't know if you can see those. So all these washers you have to get in while juggling. There's another washer on that side. So I used 2 axle bolts, putting them in, put one in that side, one in that side, and locating all the thing. And then I can push either one out, whichever side I want to go to. That's about the easiest way of doing those. They're just so fiddly. So yeah, it's a bit of a struggle getting them on. Finally got the back brake sorted. It's still a little bit spongy, but it's working. So this is all the original part. This is the original cable. This is an old one I found, which I had to refurbish a bit, take all the bits and clean it all up. But that actually worked. Unbent the brake pedal, so that's still got to put some pins in this. But I'm leaving them off for now till I put the engine in. Front wheel's gone on. That's gone on quite nice. That went on pretty straightforward. I have a brake for that. So that's the brake. That's the brake going on there. So that's just got to be cleaned up and put on. And that's pretty much a lot of the frame done. Still got a couple of little bits to tidy up, like these caps. I'll give them a tidy up at some stage. And these forks, they've got to be carbon wrapped to finish them off. But frame wise and wheel wise and brake wise, it's come out quite good. Different spacers on the front wheel so the brake would go on properly. Got that on. Cable's a bit too long, so I can change that later on. See if I can find another one, but just for testing purposes, making sure the brakes work more than anything. So brake appears to work now, and the wheel's turning around. So let's put both brakes on there. Right, so I've finally got this frame to how I want it. Got the wheels sorted. Got the brakes all sorted. Changed the cable on there. Decided to just strip the paint on the forks white spray. We didn't like it. I keep changing my mind on this bike. But it's in pretty good order now. So brakes are all working. So it's pretty much how I want it. Got a couple of little touch-ups to do on the frame before I clear coat it. Yeah, that's basically it. And I've got the carbon fibre wrap to go on there, but that'll be done right at the last thing. Yeah, that's basically it really for this week. Hopefully you'll tune in next week, and I'll have the engine in next week. Hopefully have it up and running. Plastics are coming in this week, so in theory I should be able to finish it this week. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share and comment and subscribe. It's much appreciated. I know all 5 of you that actually watch. Mainly my family. There's a couple of other people that I need to mention, but I'm going to do a video on that soon anyway. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.